Hey guys, this is Forsaken Reality here with the 13th video of the RPG tutorial series. In this video, we're going to be setting up a stats component and setting up a few functions in there to deal with that. As well as I found an issue with their notifies. Sometimes on the client, they actually don't play. Did a little bit of digging and I ended up finding a fix for this. So I'll also share that fix in this video. So without further ado, we'll get into that. So the first thing we're going to want to do is create a couple new structures. One for stats and one for item bonuses, which will handle those stats. So we'll go to blueprints, structure, st, structure, stats. And we'll create another one called st underscore item bonuses. We'll open up stats first. And first one is going to be a name. And this will be your name. And then we'll create one. Oh. Easier way to do this is create one, set it to a float because we're going to need 7 floats. For now, at least. With a level, experience, health, mana, accuracy, strength, and defense. We'll use these to create a combat formula later on, which will determine our attack damage. And we'll add more to this, I'm assuming, over time. That's good enough for now. And we'll go to our item bonuses. And we'll just set this to a float. Create 5 of these. Accuracy bonus. Strength bonus. Defense bonus. Health bonus. And mana bonus. So now we have all of our bonuses set up there. We'll head back over here and go into our item details. And in here we'll create a new variable. Save this, item bonuses, and then this is going to be our item bonuses. And we're just going to search for structure, item bonuses, and set this here. And now we have access to set these in our data table for each of our items. Show you that quickly. Now we can set bonuses that'll be added to our current bonuses. Once we set it up, of course. Okay, now that we have our this done, we can close out of this and this for now. And we're going to go to our blueprints, components, right click, create a new blueprint class and an actor component. Call this BPC character or stats component. Later on, I'm actually going to break down this character component into separate components that'll actually be able to be used more easily between like anything really, like you can use it on characters or AI. Like the stats component, we're gonna set it up so it'll be used for our character players and our AI, and anything else you want to have stats in your game. So once you're in your stats component, you just want to create a variable called stats and st_stats. Delete these. Okay, so now we have our stats in here. And now that our component created, we want to, for now, set it on our player. So you want to go to your player, open up your components and search for stats. Create that. So now we will have this, and we can open up this, and for our character we can set our health, our default values for health and mana, level. I'll deal with the name and experience and stuff later on. So now you have health and mana default variables, but they aren't being used yet. We'll deal with that after. In here we're going to test. Well, not test. We're gonna set up some functions that are gonna be used. But for now, I'm just gonna be using the test that it's working. Add accuracy. Remove accuracy. Or actually, we'll start with health. Add health. Remove health. So now you have two new functions inside your stats component. And so whatever you have whatever this is on, you can set it to here. So when you run these functions, whatever the stats component is on will be affected by this. So we have it on a stats component on your character and a stats component on your AI, and you run to add that 100 health right here in your character, or you reference your character and then your stats component to add health to that, then it'll add health to that and not the AI as well. So for add health, we want to grab our stats and break this. So over here, and bring that down there. And we also want to set members in st_stats. And we want to create an input as a float, and it's going to be the amount to add. So this is going to be the input amount that you're going to add to your health. So float plus float. So now whatever value is input to this function. So for example, I'm just going to grab out my stats component, add health, and now I can add 5 health, or I can set a variable here that's ran from somewhere else. Either way, I can add health. I'll remove that for right this moment, and after this, I'm just going to return. And in the set numbers struct, we're going to want to select the health, plug this into here, so it sets the health for the structure, which is right here. So it'll set the health plus however much you put in. And for remove health, we will basically do the same thing. So we'll Control C, copy that, Control V to paste that, plug this in here to create the input pin automatically, and an amount to remove. And we also want to delete this because we're not adding health, we're subtracting now. So you want to plug this into here like this, and that will set the amount, whatever your input amount is, and whatever the health is currently at, minus, it'll remove that from your health, and then set it to the new health value. So now that that's done, we'll comment it, just so you can understand it a little more if you ever come back to it. Remove health bonuses, input plus current bonus, current health, new health. There we go. This. That'll be minus, not plus. Now we'll add accuracy. That will be, or add health, sorry. Add health bonus. There, that's one's plus. So now we have this done. We can test it out in our character since we have it set here. So we'll create a keyboard, we'll type in keyboard, and we'll just go 1. We'll get our stats component, and we'll add health. So that's getting the component that's attached to the player and running the function to add 5 health. We already have 100 health, so we should end up with 105. I'm just gonna append, function. This is a pretty useful one where you want to output multiple values in a print string. So we're gonna grab a print string. I'll plug that into there, and what we're appending is health value, and we'll get our, we already have it there, actually we'll just grab it from here. Or stats, sorry, we'll get our stats, break them. So now it will type, say, health value with a space, and you can even do something like health value, put it in a box, for example, and you can add another pin after that. You just close that. So now for the test, this will add health. And we'll copy this and paste it and create 1 for 2. And this one will be remove health. And it will be from the stats component. And we can just copy all this, paste it. So now we have everything after the remove health. Plug this in here because this is just for printing out the value to allow us to test. So now we press 1, start at 100, and every time you add 5 when you press 1, and when you subtract, it's doing something funky. Okay, so probably want to remove something. Okay, that's odd. 1 sec. Fix that. Okay, so the mistake I made here is I wasn't paying attention. It's removing the, it's getting the amount you put in, which is 5, and removing your health value, which is 100. So the way you want to fix this is plug this in here like this and that in here. So it's getting your health value and subtracting the amount you input. And we'll delete this and reorganize this so it's a little better. So it's not so much overlapping. And I'm just going to quickly double check the add. And yeah, it's doing the same thing here. So you want to get the current health value. And add the amount you put into it, not get the amount you put in and add the health value. So now when we run, subtracting your health. And I'm going to quickly set up an AI just so I can double check that. So we're going to create a new folder in our blueprints folder called AI. And in here, we're going to create a blueprint class, and it's going to be a character. It's going to be called BP Master AI. Open this up. Save. And we'll also actually create a child of that. It's going to be BP. This one's just going to be an attack dummy for testing. Do not know what just happened there. So I'm just going to delete this both. So I'm safe. Okay. So there was an issue there. This doesn't actually exist, I thought. Yeah, that's weird. Create a child. BP attack dummy. And we'll set the mesh. And we'll just set that to the mannequin. Drag him down 90. And we will rotate him 90. And from here we'll compile. Oh, we want to also set the animation blueprint. Since it's the same skeleton, we can use the animation blueprint we normally use. So now that we have that done, we want to go to the master AI and add the stats component. Now our AI will have stats. We can add health. We can set default variables for each individual AI that we create. So we probably always want to keep that default 0 in our master and our attack dummy. Go to our stats that's now inherited, and we'll just set his health to, he'll be a weak monster with 25. And we'll give him a little bit of accuracy and strength and defense. He'll be a level 5 monster, level 2 monster. And the reason I made this a float, by the way, is so that we can determine like the values between 2 and 3, how we can actually have it print out how far a player is from reaching level 2, depending on whatever we have set up at the time for determining our level. Whatever stats and stuff or experience gains. And character name, we can just be so now that we have this set, how can we quickly test this? Okay, we're just gonna go to our master or our attack dummy and go to we're gonna add a capsule collision. So I set it really big. This is just showing you that it works at the moment. So you want to go to your capsule. You don't actually need to put the things. I'm going to delete this right after. So on component, begin overlap, and the other actor is going to be the master character or any children references of it. And if that's true, we are going to get our stats component. We're going to add health. So we're going to add 50 health to the AI. Stats. Break this. I'm doing this quickly because I don't really need health. So we'll just print out the health value. And we'll throw him in the level. So when the character walks over him, he should be updated by 50 health, so 75, 125. It seems to be updating differently, so I'll probably do some replication setups on this stuff so everything works out properly if that's needed. That was just a quick test to show you. So you delete that if you added it, so you don't need that capsule. Oh yeah, one more thing for this video. In the stat, before we fix the animation notifiers in the stats component, in the next video, I'll actually set these up for you, set each function up for you quickly. We're at the beginning, but I want to just give you a little test, see if you guys can do it. And the repetitive, a lot of learning is repeating stuff over and over again, so it drills it into your head. So for this, we're going to create new functions for add and remove mana, accuracy, strength, and defense. So let's do these 4. So basically, new function, add mana, remove mana. So now that you have 2 of these in here, and you want to basically set them up the same as here. And for mana, for example, you're going to drag this into like that for mana. And that should be it. So now I'll quickly fix up these, show you the fix for these animation notifies. So you want to go to your animation folder and your montages. And for all of your montages, the attack traces don't seem to play properly on the client all the time. So if you go into here and open up the event and change this to branch point on all of your notifies, then the notifier will play 100% across your server and client. So let's change all these to branch point. That should allow things to trace properly on your client. So server seems to work properly all the time, but the client sometimes has issues enabling it, sometimes disabling it, sometimes it won't run them both. It's pretty random. Sometimes we'll run them all properly. So that's that. And now the client won't have any problems. There's actually an overlap there. I fixed that. I'll pause the video for a moment and look for that and actually add that to this video too in a moment. Okay, I'm back. The fix for this is going to be, we're going to want to go to our holdable mesh, our master holdable, and we want to sphere trace by channel instead of for objects. We're going to trace the visibility channel. we'll just control and click. You can actually drag these out, move them up quickly. Control and click. This one isn't needed, and control and click. We set this for variation so we can see our trace. You can set that back when you don't want to see your trace anymore. And now all goes well. We should not be hitting. Okay. You also want to set the radius of the trace. I use 50 because it doesn't miss any areas between the blades, so there's no chances the AI can fit in between your traces. And now you notice there's nothing there. There's nothing there for the client either. And now it's all red. It means it's not hitting. We're going to fix this so it hits the AI as well. Now we hit ourselves, we won't hit the axe, but we can hit other people. That's what we want. An AI just needs some collisions set up. Since we only just quickly made the blueprint, we haven't set up the collision for them yet. So that will fix your... So now we have the animation notifies fixed. We have the spare trace fixed. Yep. Oh. Top socket if you didn't have that in there already. That will be everything for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below or join my Discord. There's a lot of helpful people in my Discord other than myself, but I'm usually very active and I always like to chat and have a conversation about what's going on in the project, how their projects are going. If you have any suggestions, feel free to offer those. If you like the video, please feel free to like and subscribe so you'll get notified when I upload new videos. Thanks, and I'll see you guys in the next video.